Hello everyone, Crash here, this is RTA Motorsports, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Cammus C5 direct drive wheel. Here we go. All right, everyone, so you'll notice that I'm not in the rig right now, and we will get there. I will mount this to the rig and give you my impressions there as well eventually. But today, we are utilizing the bundle. So we do have the Cammus CS5, the desk clamp, and that's how we're mounting it. We're mounting it to my desk, and I have the CP5 pedals down below. And we're gonna take a look at this thing in real time. I'm gonna let you know my first impressions with it. We're gonna take a look at it in Assetto Corsa Competizione and in iRacing. I'm gonna let you know exactly how it performs, how the setup process was, and what do I think first impressions wise. Let's get to it. So let's do some laps here around the Nürburgring in the Porsche and Assetto Corsa Competizione. And first thing I noticed when I was getting this set up is I never race at my desk. So this feels a little awkward and off, so don't judge my driving skills with this setup here. But if you're going to be racing at a desk, definitely look for a seat that you could lower or remove the sidearms pretty easily, because they are making contact with my elbows. And then also my seat, although I can lock it from rocking backwards, it is turning pretty easily, so I kind of find myself bracing with my feet to stop myself from spinning side to side. So initially here, turning this wheel side to side and kind of going through, first thing that hits me is how smooth it is. It's so buttery smooth, and it's actually pretty strong. This is only a 5 Newton meter wheel. I'm getting a lot of road feel. Lot of load in the turns. I can tell what the front tires are doing very similarly to my AccuForce Pro V2, but I would say like the effects are stronger on that wheel, of course, because that is a stronger wheelbase, but this feels adequately strong, and I'm getting all the effects. It is moving the wheel in my hand. That's how strong it is. But if you want something that's going to be like an arm workout, I know they do make stronger wheelbases, but this is, I would say this is pretty much adequate. I mean, I don't see why you would necessarily need anything necessarily stronger than this, because I am getting all the information here. The curbs feel pretty good. It's just surprising how smooth it is. It's like, it's really buttery to turn this wheel. You're not getting any stepping or notchiness or anything like that. This is really a smooth turning wheel. I'm getting some of that load on the turns on high speed. I can feel the wheel fighting me. Oh yeah, kind of caught that slide there. Yeah, this is pretty strong. Can't wait to mount it to the rig, which is a completely solid surface. This desk is not the greatest surface in the world to mount a direct drive wheel to. There is flex in this desk. It's not a solid wood desk, so you know, there's a little bit of I guess you could say dampening kind of going on there. You can see my monitor kind of bouncing back and forth a little bit. This is actually really good. Now, talking about the pedals, the brake is firmer than the gas. I would say it's noticeable. It is noticeable under the feet. I didn't think it would be. It is definitely noticeable. And the way that they have the pedals angled, at first I was like, why are they so raked back? But now in an office seat, I could definitely say they're very ergonomic for sitting in a chair a little bit more higher up. My ankles don't feel super flexed back as they would with traditional pedals, because they took into account, I'm imagining, sitting in a office chair where you're a little bit more inclined up above the pedals instead of almost in line with the pedals. So that's a very smart design, and the throw is actually a good amount of throw. It feels natural, it feels comfortable with my ankle mobility. The brake is definitely harder. I would say if they had a little bit of like an elastomer or even just some foam in the brake, just something to really, at the end of the throw, fight against and modulate, pedals would be absolutely great. And I'm sure there's mods out there to do that. But they do slide a little bit on carpet. They did include the rubber feet, and I've only used 2 of them. That's probably my fault. If I use the rest, it may hook into the carpet a little bit more. But just something to keep in mind, you know, the tension of the pedals on the brake especially is just to the point where the pedals want to slide around a little bit on carpet. Oh, oh yeah, I could feel that load increase as the speed's increasing. And surprisingly enough, I was a little concerned as to what I would feel or how I would feel about these paddle shifters. They're actually really nice. They got a good click to them. They are small, but the position of them, the tips of my fingers fall right on top of them. I wish they were just a little bit longer for aesthetic reasons, but it's not necessary. And then also, you know, maybe when you're turning the wheel, kind of getting your hand a little bit more on the top of the paddle would be a little bit easier. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is a plenty strong wheel. This is good. I'm getting all the information that I get from my wheel, just a little bit less, but how smooth this wheel is on turn-in is amazing. Oh yeah, and I felt the rear kick out there. The wheel got a little light and turned and corrected the other way, much as it would in real life, I would imagine. Nice little vibrations through there, a little load. I would like to lower the dampening just a little bit from the stock settings, just to see if a little bit more of the vibrations come through. But it may also just be my settings that I have set up in Assetto Corsa Competizione. I didn't really adjust too much. Oh yeah, there we go. Because it just feels like there's a little bit of dampening in there. Oh. There we go. Just feels like there's a little bit of dampening in there. And I know the, I think it was one of the settings, natural inertia, and it was something else. Like, I raised up to about 20%. They give you a little bit of a description of each setting in Cammus's software. That way you can determine if you want to raise or lower anything. And I like how they give examples and compare from rally to track racing. So if you're doing, it says if you're doing like lap races, it recommends to do this. If you're doing drifting or rally, it recommends to do this. So it's really good in making comparisons and really allowing people that don't know what those settings mean understand what's the intended setting to use. So that way we can make adjustments as we see fit. So I am getting some vibrations through here, getting some motion in the wheel due to the road telemetry. Oh yeah. You can feel that load on the front tires as I'm braking in. And there we go. There's the first lap at the Nürburgring in Assetto Corsa Competizione. So let's jump into iRacing and see what we think there. So we're in the BMW M4 GT4 at Sebring in iRacing. This is actually going to be pretty cool because there is a lot of road texture. There's a lot going on with the circuit. I love testing force feedback here, especially one of the last turns there, that long swooping right-hander. The wheel is normally pretty hard to hold on to at speed in my rig. So I'm kind of curious to see how that feels here. Now I can tell you I did just try to run this with the force feedback strength. Now let's go to that actual setting so that way you can see what I'm talking about. This strength here, I moved it all the way up, not to 100%, but I think I was at like 38 or 39. Because the wheel force automatically seen 5 Newton meters, I wanted to see if it would clip. I don't think it was clipping. I only made it around a few turns before the wheel was just undrivable. It was just too much, too strong. It was actually pulling me into turns, and it was just way too strong. 5 Newton meters when you're overdoing it could actually be too much force behind the wheel. So we're scaling that back a little bit. I'm actually going to lower this down just a little bit more, and let's see if we could actually make it around the track. Now, it's been a little bit since I've driven this M4 GT4, so don't judge my driving skills here. And again, we're at the desk, and insert other excuses here. But we're just mainly going to be seeing how this wheel feels at Sebring as compared to like my Sim Experience AccuForce. All right, so we did get quite a bit of feel there, a lot of vibrations, some good amount of load on the wheel. Now, I know my tires are going to be cold, and the track is cold right now because it is an overcast day. So we're going to take it easy. It's probably going to take a few laps before we really get some heat in the tires, can go at it pretty good. You can feel the load build up on the suspension when you're turning in at speed. Curves felt pretty good. But again, I know I said it in Assetto Corsa Competizione, and I'll say it again, just the smoothness of turn-in is just insane. That's probably the biggest thing that I noticed. It is a strong wheel. Again, I just told you how I put the force feedback way too high and almost pulled itself out of my hands. So it is a very capable wheel depending on the settings. But I'm not feeling like we're clipping at all. And this is, yeah, you could feel those rumble strips there. This is about as much force feedback as I would want. There we go. Yeah, you have a good amount road feel and vibrations through there. I wouldn't say it's as strong or as jarring as my Sim Experience AccuForce Pro V2, but there's a lot. There's a lot going on right now in the wheel. I know some of the baseline dampening settings are on right now, because I can still feel a little bit of dampening in there, a little bit of things kind of getting glossed over a little bit. So there is, I don't know why that cone was perfectly upside down. I don't know if you all seen that. But oh yeah. It's actually really enjoyable just kind of racing at the desk instead of having the whole motion rig going. It just feels a lot more, I don't know, not as serious, just kind of almost just fun. The pedals sliding is a little bit of an issue for me, and again, I didn't use all those rubber feet on there, so that is my fault. And I think that's probably why you wouldn't want the brake to be any stronger than it is. I think if you're going to do a mod to really up how much force you need to depress the brake all the way down, you're going to have to mount these. Even though they're completely made of metal, the base plate or the heel plate is it is pretty thick steel. Just they are smaller and they are still lighter. I like how you can feel the back of the car kicking out. Here's that cone again, upside down. What is going on? Yeah, there's a lot of information coming through. If you're looking for like a one-to-one experience with what you would feel in the car, I would say you're going to need a little bit more strength probably to really get all that detail through. But for the price, this is insane. Even if you weren't considering the price, just for an entry-level direct drive wheel, this feels really, really good. It is undeniably smoother than my AccuForce Pro. There's just no denying how smooth this wheel is. And to be honest with you, I'd probably be just as fast, if not faster, with this wheel than I would with my AccuForce Pro. Only because of how smooth it feels, and just the force feedback is at a point where I'm getting the information, but I'm not enticed to like turn it up further like I am with my AccuForce Pro. I don't have it at crazy limits, but like I said, I do like fighting the car. Also, this wheel feels like it's a good size. It's like a good all-rounder. You know, I'm not using my GT3, or actually it's an LMP LMP1 wheel that I use for everything. But it's, you know, I'm not using like a GT3 style or LMP style wheel right now, which this car kind of calls for. I don't really care. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. It's a smaller wheel, but it's not too small, if that makes sense. Whoo, a big slide there. I think this would be a good all around the wheel. It is a D-shaped wheel, but it's not really as much of a D shape as some would lend you to believe. I think this would still be perfectly acceptable to rally in. Would I say, is it the perfect drift wheel? No. But you can drift in it. I've drifted in D-shaped wheels before. It's not impossible. It's just something you got to get used to. It's just, you know, not optimal, of course, but can you get used to it? Yeah, for sure. All right, I can't wait to mess around with the settings a little bit more and really get this feel dialed in, because it is a little dampened, a little bit more than I want. I want a little bit more of that raw sort of road texture. I don't think it's clipping at all. It's definitely something we got to check for. But as far as the strength of it, the strength feels really good. And the smoothness, I'm kind of like intoxicated with just how smooth this base is. I thought for sure with the weight of it that it would kind of translate in the feel, being that you have the motor mounted in the inside or in the middle of this wheel. I kind of thought that that would transfer over in feeling almost heavy or sluggish, and you don't get that at all. Not at all. And I think it's because the motor is a part of the wheel. It almost makes it feel light and smooth. You don't have another joint to kind of contend with. You're not mounting, even though, you know, quick releases are not rattly or anything like that, or they shouldn't be. But I think the motor being a part of the wheel is kind of a benefit here for the feel. You can see I'm able to catch the slides and really get this car around the track, and we're getting faster and faster each lap. We really got to mount this to the rig, because I am also kind of fighting the pedals, sliding a little bit. I'm holding it down with my other foot whenever I'm either using the brake or the throttle. Oh, but this is so much fun. I could do this all day. Hopefully you enjoyed this first look with the Cammus C5 direct drive wheel. Few things. One, again, so smooth. Now, when you have it off and you have the dampener settings at, you know, the default that they have, it does feel a little heavy, and you do feel a little bit of, I would just say, the motor. It doesn't feel like a stepper motor like the SimExperience AccuForce Pro V2, but you do feel a little bit of like a motor. It's not a grindiness and it's not a geariness, but you do feel it. It's not perfectly smooth. If you lower that dampener setting, it's perfectly smooth, but when you're driving, it just feels like butter. It is surprisingly good how good it feels. Now, do I expect myself to replace my SimExperience AccuForce Pro V2 with what I felt right now? I would say no, but the smoothness is really intoxicating, and I would love to see what your settings are. If you are familiar with this wheel and you're using this wheel, definitely let me know in the comment box below what settings you're using for ACC or iRacing, or really any other title, for both the in-app settings and also in the simulator itself. I really want to get this dialed in and see exactly how it feels with optimum settings. But overall, initially, I am extremely surprised how good this feels, and it kind of makes me curious as to how the Cammus other products feel as well. This is this is surprising, and it is really good. So if you're in the market for a direct drive wheel, you are a little bit on a tighter budget, or if you're just not wanting to spend that much money as, you know, like some of these other wheelbases, this so far is an amazing choice. I definitely have a lot more testing to do to really see exactly how this wheel is. I want to do some longer races, some hour-long plus races, and really see what the temperature is like, because there are some settings as far as managing temperature and things like that. But overall, initially, I'm surprised. Everyone, I'm Crash. This is RTA Motorsports. Definitely subscribe, hit that like button, that reminder bell. Helps me out more than you know. And then also in the comment box below, let me know, what do you know about the Cammus C5 or the Cammus brand? And are you interested in a wheel like this? Let me know down below. I'm kind of curious to see what everyone thinks of this product here. Everyone, stay safe, stay happy, and I'll catch you next time. Nails done.